The terrible death of the prophet Isaiah at the hand of the king Manasseh. I present to you the untold story of one of the most famous prophets of the Old Testament. Prophet Isaiah foresaw the sufferings of Jesus in a vision, and his prophecies fulfilled. Without a fear, he criticized the decisions of kings and predicted tragedies for Israel if they continued in their wrongdoings. There are over 65 references to Isaiah in the New Testament, and Isaiah is mentioned over 20 times. According to the story of the Bible, he meets his death in the most strategic way by being sawn in two by King Manasseh. Isaiah is the son of Amoz and began his prophecy in the days of King Uzziah in 745 BC. He predicted God's judgment on the king and the people through prophecies. His ministry unfolded under the tribulation period of the kingdom of Judah, which spread over all other kingdoms such as Uzziah, Ahaz, Hezekiah, and Manasseh. In his first prophecies in 753 BC, he prophesies to King Uzziah that he saw his death and the death of his wife and 2 sons. Isaiah accepted the calling of God because he recognized the troubles ahead and needed to save his people from tragedy that was to come. Isaiah saw the debauchery of the rulers, the rich, and the superstition and idolatry of the entire population. At the same time, he saw the increasing strength and the approach of the Assyrian conqueror to the land of Israel and connected the two things by saying the sins of the people would lead them to their destruction. Isaiah was involved in the policy of the kings. Under his help, King Hezekiah began his religious reform to purify the idolatry, but he did not accept Isaiah's political advice and rebelled against the Assyria, for which he paid the heavy price. King Hezekiah, a descendant of David, received into his hands an sinful and corrupt kingdom. Before his eyes, the kingdom of Israel falls into the hands of the Assyrian, who threatens to continue the occupation and destroy his kingdom as well. Hezekiah prepares himself for a general rebellion for a long siege of Jerusalem, but as well in his mind, he is prepared to surrender to the Assyrian if he fails. King Hezekiah went to the house of God and prayed. He even sent messages to Isaiah to pray as well. Isaiah prophesies that the king of Assyria would soon leave the land of Jerusalem and be killed, and it came to pass. After the death of King Hezekiah, his son Manasseh ascends the throne at the age of 12 and was the new king ruler of Israel. Manasseh evil in the eyes of God. He was the most wicked king, and he was drawn to idolatry. He reconstructed altars of Baal and false gods. God revealed the judgment of Manasseh to Isaiah. God said he will deliver the remnant to the enemy, Hands Kings chapter 21, Chronicles chapter 33. The book reveals that the king of Israel worshipped false gods and embraced idolatry, committing violence, believing in sorcerers, and persecuting the prophets of God. It came to pass that the temple was destroyed. There was an exile of Judah. He was king for 55 years more than any king of Judah, and he was the most wicked who harmed his people and faith of God. His sins left an impression even after his death, and in his days, a decree of exile was decreed on the kingdom of Judah. According to the Bible, King Hezekiah, Manasseh's father, wedded the daughter of Isaiah, meaning he is the grandson of the prophet Isaiah, whom he also killed in the end. Isaiah tried his possible best to avoid his fate as King Manasseh pursued him to his death. Manasseh challenged the prophet Isaiah to provide evidence supporting Moses' prophecies. He prophesies and he sees God contrary to Moses' words that man will not see God and live. Although Moses himself saw God at Mount Sinai, but only his back. Exodus chapter 24 verses 10. Isaiah, instead of answering him and sensing that his answer will lead to his immediate death, Isaiah decided to run away. According to this legend, during the journey of escape, Isaiah saw the tree of cedar named God and was immediately swallowed by it. King Manasseh ordered the trees to be taken down by half, thereby killing the prophet. But miraculously, the tree in which Isaiah was inside was not noticed immediately until they reached the place where Isaiah's lips were moved and noticed the tree, and it was sawn down, and prophet Isaiah was killed. Some accounts say that the prophet Isaiah was imprisoned inside a hollow tree trunk and sawn into 2 pieces. Sawing in half is one of the most painful execution methods known in ancient times. Isaiah faced challenges and opposition, particularly from those in power. He criticized the decisions of the kings, prophesied horrors if the people of Israel did not turn back to God, and urged Israel to seek God first. However, his messages were ignored, as King Manasseh rejected Isaiah's teachings, which led to increased persecution against the righteous. Isaiah also prophesies about the end of days, which is the judgment day. He really desired a world in which kindness and justice prevailed. A world in which people spoke against evil, protected the injured and sheltered widows and orphans. Tragic but inspiring, Isaiah's story reminds us to stand firm in our beliefs and to sacrifice when we face hardships.